Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. This is the Dragon Knight main tanking guide for Horns of the Reach. Um, the other build I posted uh, sometime early got wrecked basically because of the changes made. So I think I managed to do something that's proper and like um, it's finished. That's what I mean. Um, so yeah, let's just start. For the race, I'm Dark Elf because I like Dark Elves. The There are two options that are best. First one is Imperial. Second one is Argonian. Now, uh, I personally choose Imperial over anything. Like I have an Imperial Warden tank, and like when you learn the game, when you learn the fights, you don't need sustain. So like it becomes really easy to sustain. So the Imperial will give you more maximum stats, which is important. Even stamina and magicka, they are important. More magicka, more stam you have, uh, you can cast your skills more often. Like sometimes you'll have to chain a lot of things at once. So you want to make a decent amount of, you want to have a decent amount of magicka. Sometimes you have to taunt a lot of things back to back. So you need to have a decent stamina pool. Um, but as you continue, like you can drop those. Um, for Imperial, it has the highest health, and as a tank, you want to hit as much health as you can. So, yeah, um, that's why Imperial is very good. Argonian has the best sustain. So, um, choose whatever you want. Okay, for stats, I have 64 health, and I was running few points in stamina to make sure my stam is higher than my magicka, but then I figured just what the hell, all points into health. I'm running 3-star food. My stam is lower than my magicka, but it's fine. I don't like, you shouldn't even rely on shards or orbs anyways, so it's fine like this, no problem. We have 15.4k magicka, 48.3k health, 14.7 stamina. Our recovery is complete shit. We don't need recovery, you'll see why. We have 20k resistance, 20k physical, 27k spell resistance. When we buff, it's 32k and 26k. So, and we are running the Lord Mundus. It gives us 2.2k health. Especially after Morrowind, health became very useful because, like, there are some fights that are like you get a lot of damage in a short time. Especially in Halls of Fabrication, like if you are holding the Centurion as well on second boss, when they hit you, uh, when both of them hit you with a heavy attack, uh, it's just kinda rip if you don't have enough health. And sometimes you roll dodge, but like when you roll dodge, you drop your block, and the like at the end of your roll dodge, you are not in the iframes anymore, so you will get hit by the second hit, second heavy attack, and that will be one shot as well because you're not blocking. So having max health is really good. That's why I highly recommend choosing Imperial over Argonian. More max health you have, better it is. So yeah, I'm a stage 4 vampire. You don't have to go beyond stage 3, but it's like really, yeah, trouble to keep at stage 3, so whatever. Okay, for the gear, we have Ebon and Torx Pact and Blastbone. I'll just go over, and I have also a Lord Warden setup, the same setup, but yeah, just different monster sets. So we are running Torx Pact, heavy sturdy chest. We are running heavy sturdy feet, heavy sturdy legs. All of them are health enchanted, and I have a infused sword with Crusher enchant on it, and I have a sturdy shield with health enchant. So all the things you want health. Yeah, and the other set we are using is Ebon, both hands and waist, sturdy and health enchanted, and we have 3 jewelry, shield play enchanted. You can get the legendary of this from the golden merchant in Cyrodiil. It comes like very rarely, but if you see them, just get them. I used to drop a lot of it in Vmall when it dropped from there, but I didn't care. Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, so. And we're running Bloodspawn, heavy sturdy, both of them, and health enchanted. So, yeah. And the other thing you can do is Lord Warden. This is also a decent set now. It was really, really small, like really small before. Now they buffed it. The range is actually very good now, and it's decent stats. Like it gives you some good resistances as well. Like your resistance doesn't matter much because the diminishing returns, but if you give resists to other people, it becomes better because they need some tankiness in some fights. Like there are fights that people take a lot of damage, so having Lord Warden can be the better choice. Like when your team gets comfortable with fights, you'll slowly drop this for Bloodspawn for more DPS. And there's one last thing we are running. We have a charged lightning stuff with shock enchanted. I'll explain why we are running this. Yeah, that's pretty much the gear. For if you are pugging, like pugging trials, and if your group wants Alkosh, I have an Alkosh setup as well, like Ebon Alkosh. It's just you switch Torux for Alkosh basically. Like when I equip this 5-piece Ebon armor and Alkosh jewelry, Alkosh infused and sturdy on front bar. Again, we have the charged lightning on back. Again, you can use Lord Warden with this. It's fine, whatever you want to do. But mostly, the setup is the most I use. Yeah. Okay, let's go to skills. First skill we have is Pierce Armor. This basically taunts for 15 seconds and applies Major Fracture and Major Breach for 12 seconds. Second skill we have Heroic Slash. Mostly used for the Minor Maim and Minor Heroism. So it's kind of expensive. So it's fine though. Just apply when you're like just use after your taunt, and yeah, it's fine. Third skill we have is Ignite Shield. This basically is your stam sustain skill, because we have the Helping Hands. When you cast an Earth on Earth ability, you restore 1k stam. So this is an Earth on Earth ability. When you use this, you give some shield to other people. It's a small shield, but still something. So yeah. Fourth skill we have is from Mage Guild Balance. This is your basically Magicka sustain. As you see, we don't have any Magicka recovery. This is how we sustain our Magicka. So you basically have unlimited Magicka. So, and unlimited Magicka means unlimited stamina. So the only trade you are doing is sacrificing your health. You damage yourself for it. It says 5.7, but I think it's bugged. It's 5.1. My food ran out, I think. There we go. Yeah. This also gives you Major Resolve and Major Ward, so it's really nice. The fifth skill we have is Green Dragon Blood. This heals you for shit ton if you have low health. It also gives you minor vitality, which is the important thing here. It's 8% healing received. So let's look at this passive now. Burning card increases your healing received by 12% while the Draconic Power ability is active. So what you want to do is, when you combine these, like when you have this active, this will proc as well, that gives you 20% healing received. That's a lot. Like, you'll notice it immediately. Like, you can activate this passive with Spike Armor as well, but we already have Major Resolve and Major Ward, so, and this is a good heal as well. Like, it can save you from that a lot of times. So yeah. And our ultimate is Magma Shell. This is the emergency or shit button. It basically makes you immortal unless it's a mechanic. Just you just don't die when this is active. And my skills are locked for some reason. Okay, I probably need to put this back on. There we go. Okay, now you have 3 skills on your back bar. That's always there. First skill is Engulfing Flames. We're using this because Magicka DKs in endgame raiding is non-existent. They're just not there. So, like, and there are actually a lot of flame damage going on. You might not notice it, but the Mauve Infernal is basically best in slot for Magicka sorcerers. It does amazing damage. The shooting star obviously is flame damage. Most stamina DKs are using Flames of Oblivion and Standard of Might, and some Magicka DDs use the flame damage enchant on their weapons, and some of them still use the Blockade of Fire. So this is a buff that's needed. Like, this is an insane buff. You better use it. It doesn't seem like it, but there's a lot of flame damage going on. So 10%, like flat 10% damage boost. It's crazy. Like, I think it's a must to have this buff, and because Magicka DKs are not there anymore, you can use it fairly easy. The third skill we have, the second skill we have is Inner Rage. This is our range taunt, and basically nothing else. Fifth skill we have is Elemental Blockade. This is how we apply the crusher. This is how we apply off balance and concussion. So I'll show you how it works. Just saying that this is, I was gonna say probably, but not probably. This is the best way to apply crusher. So when I use the blockade, it will proc the shock enchant on it, and as you see here, it has the minor vulnerability and off balance. Now when I open my combat metrics, you'll see why it's so good. What? Oh, my combat metrics is broken. No, is it? I think it is. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, there we go. Minor vulnerability 50%, off balance 88. Yeah. The charged weapon procced 3 times and applied the concussion with 50% uptime. And as you see here, Blockade of Storms sets concussed enemies off balance. Like with this shock enchant, you are contributing to the minor vulnerability uptime, like the concussion uptime, and the blockade itself off balances the enemies. So like how it works is like this: the shock damage enchant has 20% chance to proc concussion. Was the elemental force, yeah. This passive boosts it to 40%, and the charged trait increases it to 88%. So that's how it works. Like it's almost 90% concussion chance. So when you do this, it's like when you go to your back bar and use this, it's almost every time concussion. And even on your front bar, it still ticks and it contributes to the off balance uptime. Because every time someone uses a heavy attack, the off balance is gone. So more shock walls you have, more shock blockades you have, more off balance uptime you'll get. And this is an insane buff to DPS, because like when the enemy is off balance, they take more damage from heavy attacks. So you are boosting heavy attack damage, the next heavy attack damage when you use it. Every time you set an enemy off balance, and every tick of shock blockade does that, you set them off balance, basically. You increase their heavy attack damage, I mean. So yeah, blockade is amazing. And our ultimate is obviously Warhorn. It's best ultimate in the game for tanks and healers to use. It is really easy to get. For those who don't like PvP, I can just say this. I got this in 1 hour on my Warden tank. You just join a group, you just follow them around, you heal them, and done, you have it. It's like it took me 1 hour, maybe 1 hour and a half. Like it's really easy to get. So yeah, you also need purge as well. Like without purge you can't, you just can't do it. It's necessary. Okay, let's see. For the flex spots, these two, like you can see here what I'm using in most fights. I have unrelenting grip. This is basically chains. You just pull things to you, like not all things, but some things. It's really useful. Uh, get all the passives here. Choking Talons. It is basic, like it's like the best route in the game. It applies minor maim for 7 seconds. It's amazing in trash fights. In every trial, you put minor maim on everything. It's it's really good. Other skill we have is Dragon Fire skill. There's only one use for this skill, and as you see here, AI vulnerable. Uh, this boss, you can throw her attacks back to her, and when you reflect stuff, it does a lot of damage. Like, I mean, a lot of damage. Like, you can get 10k DPS just with this skill. So yeah. And Deep Breath. This is a AV interrupt. Like, you might use this. I try not to use it. I just bash. I prefer to just bash, but this skill is really good. Like, sometimes you can't interrupt. Like, sometimes you can't look at things and interrupt them, even if they are next to you. So Deep Breath can interrupt, like AoE in front, on your back. It interrupts everything near you, so it's really good. And get every passive again. There isn't much here. Just make sure you get every passive. On one hand shield we have Shield Assault. I'm trying not to use this because it's really risky. There's only one use for the skill, and it's on the fourth boss in Wehof. You just charge to the other boss so it doesn't move, but it's kind of risky because, like, there have been times that the hands that pull you in are literally everywhere. There's no way you can charge to the other boss, and like, even if you do, you'll get just sucked in, and the other boss will just gonna move, and it's gonna be wipe. So it's risky. It's quicker, but it's kinda RNG based. If there are hands all over the place, you just can't charge. That's basically how it is. And get air passive. And Absorb Magic is good for Rakat, but yeah, only good for Rakats. Other than that, no. And Destro, Crushing Shock. This is a range interrupt. Like, it has 28 meters range. Like, your DDs will be running the Force Pulse for more DPS. So interrupting stuff instead of they are doing it is increasing DPS, and you are bringing a lot of utility. Like, doing range interrupts is very good for everyone. Like, they don't have to do it themselves, so it's good. Pulsar is good for trash packs, just especially in places you just use this, and every small ad will get their health decreased by 10%. We have 7 heavy, so just get everything here. Shuffle might be good for some fights, but I try not to use it. It's really expensive, and I think I have enough health to tank stuff, so it's fine. And yeah, get Elusive Mist. This is like super good skill. Like, on fourth boss we have, I use it on my front bar. If there's a heavy attack incoming, I just use this. It gives me better mitigation. It disables my healing taken, but I take less damage with it instead of blocking. So I use this instead. And I use this to get to the other boss, because it gives me speed, and I can just run over hands. I don't have to run around them. it 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 makes you not stunnable from them. So it's really good skill. And we have invigorating drain. Uh, I don't use it often because the skills I use are so much. I just don't have time to use it. But it's the best skill in the game for ultimate regeneration. It's basically the best. You can't beat it. We have supernatural recovery. On that, make sure you have this. This is amazing passive. And we have unnatural resistance. You can just get everything, doesn't matter. On fighter skills, we have Ring of Preservation. This reduces the roll dodge cost by 20%, gives them minor protection and minor endurance. Like for example on WoW first boss, um, if this is on the ground, you'll be like, and if you are doing the roll dodge tactic, this makes it really easy to do much better because of the roll dodge cost. Like most magic DDs can't roll dodge more than 2 times, but with this they can do 3, at least 3. So, and they get minor protection as well, minor endurance, more stun recovery is higher, and like this is just very good. And 20-second duration, it's really good. We have just make sure we have banish the wicked, and the rest is not important. And you get intimidating presence, reduces the stamina cost of your fighter skilled abilities by 15%. So that's really good. And let's see, we have structured entropy. This is your max health skill. Like if you are not getting like if the healing taken is not important, what important is your max health. If you are getting really big hits in short time, your max health matters more. So entropy instead of this might be better in some situations, not all. Get Mage Adept, Everlasting Magic, Magical Controller. This is not so important, but just get it anyways. And undaunted passives, obviously. Energy Orb is good, but I don't use it much. If people want it, yeah. If they like, mostly they don't need it because everyone is running heavy attack builds, so that's how they sustain. It's fine. We have speed buff. This is amazing. Just use it, and you don't get slowed. You don't get rooted. Just run like hell. It's really good, and it gives it to everyone in your group. So, and it's the only way to increase your mounted speed as well. Like in AA, you have the like you're mounted almost always. So, I mean between trash packs, and the only way to increase your mounted speed, like I mean by a lot, is measure gallop, and you can get that only from the skill. So that's real good. Vigor is not so useful with this build because you have really low stam. Like it doesn't even heal properly, like 4k healing or 5 seconds. Just waste of skill for this build. And we have Efficient Purge. This is a must. You must have this. There's no other way. On first boss we have, just use it as much as you can to cleanse the poison. On fourth boss, use this to cleanse the fire dot from reducer. It is just a must. You must use it, and use it twice in a row in fourth boss, because the flame thing bounces off the walls, and it probably will hit another people after you purge. So just purge 2 times in a row. It's fine. We have Stalwart Guard, but I basically don't use it. It's just there in case someone wants it. I don't have space for it. the skills I use are more beneficial to whole group. This increases only one person's DPS. So yeah. Get your racial passives, get your medicinal use for better potion. Yeah, we're running the 3 stats food, and I'm running this potion, and this looks actually really good. It is good, like being able to run in front without depending on speed buff, and the healing is actually really good as well. It's like when I use this, oh, it doesn't increase, shit. I'm sure it does. I'm getting like, let me show. I'm just gonna grip my health. There we go. When you pop this, you'll get 600. When the balance is off, you get 1.2. Like, it doesn't show here, but yeah, Dragon Blood affects it, as you see. I don't know doing, yeah, because it's a healing you do, so Ignis Shield does increase it. Yeah. Like, it's a good constant healing, so it becomes 750 and 1.5 if you have Ignis Shield going. So it's good. Yeah. About the for the Crusher, I was gonna explain you that. Okay, I don't know if this is a bug or not. It doesn't look like a bug. On the PTS of Horns of the Reach, you could put Crusher on it, Crusher on your lightning stuff, and when you use Shock Wall and switch to front, it still would proc the Crusher from your lightning stuff. Now it's not the case. Now when you use Blockade and switch to a front bar, your front bar enchant will proc from the Blockade. So let me show. I'll put Blockade and switch to my front bar, and my Crusher will proc, and it will have 2.7k reduction. It will have the Torque Sparks and the infused applied on it. So this, and when I switch, you see Crusher proccing, and you can see it here as well. Like, it's the in-game thing. So yeah, that's 1 proc, 2 procs, and I think we're gonna get the 3rd one as well. Yep. If you switch fast enough, you get 3 procs from the Blockade. It's really easy to keep your Crusher up like this. You don't have to time your taunt and heroic slash for it. It's just there. The only downtime is if there's an, like, let's say this is an ant and this is the actual boss. It is very unlikely because he'll be always melee. But if there's something like that going on, this ad will take the Crusher. So that's the only downside to this tactic, but it's still the best. Like, there's no better way to do this. Yeah. So with Blockade, you apply Concussion and Crusher at the same time. So yeah. About the other potion choices you can make, you have the, I don't have 3 stat shit. You have this potion. Like, I found out that speed is really good. Like, you must have speed. It's just awesome to have. This potion will just make you immune to stuns for 16 seconds. So it can save you a lot of stun if you get hit by a stun. Like, you won't get knocked back from 2-handers. It's really good. And it gives you a lot of stun as well. Like, mostly I run this trash pots, but it's fine, like, you know. It's 6k stun. This one gives 1.5k more. It gives you speed, it gives you immune to knockback. It's just really good. You can use the 3 stats one, but as I said, I can just cast 2 balances and get what potion gives. So instead of Magicka, I rather get something else useful, you know, like speed, knockback, or lingering health. So yeah, that's the potions. Oh, CP, yeah. Okay, 13 Warlord, 75 Tenacity, 51 Tumbling, 81 Shadow Ward. This is how I spend it. It's really not important. You can do however you like. You can just make sure you're focusing on Shadow Ward. And the only reason I'm giving 75 Tenacity is Monster Gatherer and Plentiful Harvest. I wouldn't give any points in this, honestly. Like, I would make my Shadow Ward 100 and boost Tumbling and Warlord even more. And maybe some Sprinter. Okay. I have some Elemental Expert and Spell Erosion. And rest of my points are here for last stand. Like, this gives me more damage with Elemental Blockade. Like, I have almost 0 healing, right? The only heal I have is Dragon Blood, so I think just increasing the damage of this is better. Like, most of the times when I open my combat metrics, I have this at top. Like, if you keep it up enough, it does decent damage actually. So instead of getting more heals to my Dragon Blood, I just increase my damage with it. You can do whatever you want, it's not a big problem. And we have the red CP. I have 66 Ironclad, 49, 41, 49 Elemental and Hardy, and 56 Thick Skinned. I have nothing here. I noticed most of the times I die, it's because of a big burst incoming. Like 2 heavy attacks from 2 different things, or getting a heavy attack while stunned. So Ironclad makes a huge difference, I must say. And I'm thinking of reducing my Thick Skinned to get more Ironclad and Elemental Defender and Hardy. Like, this is, I think, too much. Like, you can purge most damage over times anyway, so I think lowering this to increase Hardy, Elemental and Ironclad is a good thing to do. I recommend it highly. So yeah, but again, you have the Unchained, so make sure you still have this. It's good. Like, right after you get out of stun, make sure you use your heroic slash. This is an expensive skill, so it makes it almost free. Okay, did I skip anything? I'm just gonna check quickly. I don't think I did. It looks fine. I explained passives as well. Yeah, I think it's fine. Yeah. Well, that's all. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, just ask. Yeah, I'll see you later. Take care.